Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mail, and also welcome to day 5 of Spellbinders 13 Days of Craftoween. So for day 5, let's see what we've got to work with. Now we know we're going to want the stamp set, possibly these. We are going to use these hopefully at some point. I just keep finding other things to use. So day 5. Another nicely illustrated package. I really like the packaging on these. Okay, so we've got a spider who has a top hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's got 6 eyes. Is that standard for spiders to have 6 eyes? He's got 8 legs, 6 eyes, a smile, and a top hat. That's really cool. And this looks really confusing. So we'll have to figure out how this all works with the 3 bodies, and so it probably makes up the eyeballs with the blacks and the whites. Yeah, we'll get it figured out. Okay, so let me think about this a little bit. I might pull some other products into this just because he's just a spider. And I think he might need a spider web, perhaps. So let me go through my Halloween stuff and see what I can find. And then we'll come back and we'll make this card. Okay, so I've got everything kind of scattered across the desk here. It is a lot of pieces. There are a lot of pieces to these dies. And then I added to it. I'd said about I was going to go through my Halloween sets and try to find a spider web, and I did indeed find one. And I cut it out of glitter paper. This is from scrapbook.com. This is a current release from them. You can still get this. It's on their website, and it is called, I've got a couple of sets mixed together here. This is both a combination of shapes number 40 and also spider webs is what it's called. This is what comes in the spider web set. It's just the 2 webs and then a spider. And then the other dies I have are the ghost with all the accessories and Happy Halloween and Boo. So I just thought it would be easiest if I put them all together on one piece of magnet, and that's Halloween all together. So anyway, so I did pull this spider web to go with this. The rest of the dies in this are Queen and Company, and then this one, yeah, you know what? They're all Queen and Company, now that I think about this. The paper that I used is out of one of the Echo Park Halloween packs that I have. We might use these. I might use these little orange things that came out of the head of the spider, which I decided to make orange. So we'll see. But for now, let's go ahead and start to put this together. One thing you will notice is this panel of paper, I did take the center out of it to try to preserve some of the spiderweb paper to use on another card. So I just cut a shape that was the same size and put it in here, and it is taped together on the back with mint tape. Nobody will see that. You've seen me do this several times. I often conserve paper this way. So let's go ahead and start to glue this together. And again, today's card, I tried to keep it relatively simple so that if you want to copy my design, you could. You could use any spider web that you had. If you don't have a die, you can use a stamp to do that part. But everything else is just basic shapes. You can change the shape of the shapes. You don't necessarily have to use what I used. But basically, I'm just trying to keep these as simple as possible so that the die from the Spellbinders set takes main stage. And that's our main focal point on each of the cards. Now the spider web might detract from that a little bit on this one, but I think if nothing else, it'll tie it in together rather than just having the spider all by his lonesome on the front of this card. It'll at least give him a grounding base. And it is warm in my craft room today, and my glue is drying before I can even get this down. So. Okay, and that's the background on our base. Make sure it opens up the right way. And now we're going to put this black piece, and it does have a stitched border around it. I love the stitched borders. Queen and Company does that on all of their dies. They always have a stitched border of some kind. and it just gives it more of a finished look. And I just love the look of the stitch border. So I cut this piece to be bigger than what this piece was that we cut out, so that it will go right over top, and you will never know that I took the center out of that spiderweb paper. Okay, and then this orange piece is going to go here, and this piece is going to go behind it, or in front of it. And we're going to do a little something different, something extra on this. But let's go ahead and put this piece down. Now I am going to put the sentiment at the bottom of this, so let me just lay this out real quick to make sure that it's all going to work. I cut all the pieces. I had an idea in mind once I saw the spider. And yeah, that's going to work just fine. And actually this goes behind, but that's still going to be okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this piece down. That's cute pattern paper on the back with the witches' hats. I wonder if we have any witches in this die set. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So far, the dies in this box have been a lot of fun. I'm super excited that we went back to whimsical and fun instead of like the dark themes. And I hope that it stays that way, but if there's another dark theme or two, we'll get through it. It's not a big deal. Okay, for this piece, what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of color behind the spider web. So let me pull out a piece of scrap paper. Just something to put this piece on. And that's roughly going to be centered. So I have some Twisted Citron Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to lightly ink blend behind this. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be covered up a lot by the spider. But I just wanted a little bit of color behind the spider. Maybe add a little bit further around the edges. And I think just like that, we'll be fine. So let's go ahead and put this piece down. And now the spider web. I'm not going to worry about getting all the parts on the web, just the main pieces so that it stays down. This is the first time I'm using this spider web, and now my mind is thinking about other ways that I could more easily apply the glue to this, because it is very, very delicate. I keep seeing videos by, I think it's NB Cards, Natalie Bowers, and she has a inker thing that she made out of like a basting brush. I really need to go back and watch her video on how she made that, because it looks like it would be a good tool for doing this kind of thing. Just get a little bit on each of these so that it doesn't come up. I think just like that'll be fine. Okay, so now let's set this aside and we'll do our stamping last. But let's assemble this. So I said about the dies looking a little bit confusing because the one had big holes in it, one had little holes, and then there was one that was solid. And admittedly, I die cut these the wrong way the first time I did it, and I had to stop and think about what they did here. So essentially, your solid piece should be whatever color you want that highlight of the eyes to be. I decided to make mine silver. And then your silver, your little eyepiece or your highlight piece will go on top of that piece. So that's the highlight for the eyes. And then the actual color that you want the body of your spider to be would be the piece that has the big circles in it. And then you just have to get these lined up the right way. So it is that way. So ultimately it'll look like this. So let's go ahead and glue these together. There, so we have our body with the eyeballs in it. And then we'll go ahead and put the backing piece on it. And the silver will make up the highlights for the eyes. So then they look like that, all glued together. Okay, and then his legs. Oops, I almost put his legs on backwards. So they just go under one side and then the other side. And that's basically our spider. Now we got to do his top hat. So I did a green top hat with a yellow band on it. So these are super easy to put together once you figure out the dies, like where they did the body with the eyeballs and it was in 3 die pieces. Whoops. Okay, and there's his top hat. So now we'll glue that onto his head. Okay, now we're going to let this dry and we'll go ahead and do the stamping. I am going to heat emboss the sentiment on this. And the sentiment that we are to use is Creepin' It Real this Halloween. So let's grab the Misty. This is Archival Ink by Ranger. Okay, and that's our sentiment. I did get a little bit of black underneath the R. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not a big deal. So let me clean this up and we'll come back and finish this card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this finished up. I'm going to glue the sentiment banner or label down onto this piece of glitter paper. Because of the glitter paper, the liquid glue takes a little bit longer to adhere to it. So I'm going to put this under an acrylic block after we get this lined up on here. Okay, and we're going to pop this little guy up on some dimensionals, I think. Okay. His little legs are a little bit hard to see in front of that spider web. I maybe should have done the spider web in a different color, but I think it'll be okay. I think the recipient will probably look at it a little bit closer than maybe what we can see it here on the camera. So let's go ahead and pop this up as well. And we'll just center this down here at the bottom. Now I've got these little orange dots that are left over from his eyes. So do we want to put some of these on here? Which I think we will. We'll just randomly put some. So maybe we'll do 2 there. Maybe 1 over here. How many do I have? 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6. About 2 there, and 1 over here. And I know they say you're not supposed to do these in even numbers, but does it really matter? I don't think it does. And that is our finished card for today. Creeping It Real this Halloween. I think it turned out pretty cute. Love the little spider with all of his legs and all of his eyes. I think this would be really fun with some googly eyes, which I don't have any googly eyes, otherwise I might have done that. But overall, I think it's super cute, and I'm really happy that I did the spider web behind him. But that's our card for today. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this one come together. Let me know, are you playing along with this? Do you have this box of dies, and are you making cards too? Yeah, let me know. Or are you trying the designs with things that you have? So that's it for today. Thank you for being here, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow.